You're listening to Behind the Reality. Real people, real stories, real life.
So my name is Tomasz Wania, and I was a housemate on the final series of Big Brother UK in 2018.
How did you end up on Big Brother?
I just applied, really. I just thought, why not try? I'm not going to get in anyway. But I did. So it was just like a novelty for me, you know? So I did try to, and I did manage for some reason.
And what was the casting process like?
So I sent my 19-second video in February of 2018, and then they called me back in May of 2018, and then after that it was like a lot of auditions and a lot of process to get into the show. Even until the last minute, I didn't think I would get into it. I booked my tickets to Spain for some holiday because I thought, no way. But then they called me, so I was like, sure, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, amazing. Had you always wanted to be on TV?
It's not like I always wanted to be on TV. It's like, the way I explain to people is like, some people go for thrills, right? So if you have a regular job or whatever, you're looking for something exceptional to do. Some people climb Kilimanjaro or jump out of helicopters or planes or whatever. And I was just like, let me try this TV thing. And that's why I wanted to do it.
So what did you enjoy the most about being on Big Brother?
I think the fact that I enjoyed the most about Big Brother is just meeting people who I would never be in those circles, you know, like a Yorkshire guy like Zoe, or, you know, or Middlesbrough guy like Lewis Flanagan, you know. It's just those people that I would never meet. I enjoyed that the most.
Brilliant. So you were the first ever gender fluid housemate to appear on Big Brother in the UK. Did you feel pressure to represent the community well?
I mean, I do identify as gender fluid, and I didn't really feel any pressure to represent gender fluid community because I didn't think about it that way. All I thought about was being myself, and somehow people identified with my way of doing things, just like wearing what you want, being whoever you want to be. If you want to put on makeup, you want to put on makeup. If you want to be like super scruffed, then you can be super scruffed. It's just like being yourself and being free of standard gender societal rules, you know. That was my philosophy.
Amazing. And for those who don't know, could you just explain to people what being gender fluid actually means?
Gender fluid for me is just like throwing everything out the window that people think about gender and sex, because obviously now we learn more about sex and gender and they are not the same thing. So society puts pressure on women and men to do certain things. So, for example, I don't know, men can't wear makeup in today's society. I don't care about that, you know, and women have to behave in a certain way, and I don't care about that. And sometimes I feel a little bit more like a girl. Sometimes I feel a little bit more like a man. It's just being free of all those expectations, you know?
Mm-hmm. And do you think that made it harder for the public to understand you, or do you think it was easier, or?
I think being gender fluid, it had like no effect on the public, especially British public being super open about whoever the person in front of them is. As long as I brought them some entertainment, or I made their life a little bit more funny, or I brought something to their day after a long, hard day at work, that's what they cared about, not my identity. That's what I think.
So was that one of your reasons for going into Big Brother, maybe for acceptance, or?
The reason for me going to Big Brother wasn't really for people, it was for myself. I know you shouldn't seek validation, but that's what I did, because I was never appreciated for being myself. And being chosen to participate in the show was super important for me. And that negated even the feeling of trying to win or whatever. Just getting in was a massive achievement for me.
You were also the first Polish contestant to be part of Big Brother as well. Do you think that the public maybe couldn't identify with you as much, or do you think you did a good job of showing Poland?
Well, being Polish, this is a double-edged sword for me. I know for a fact that British public didn't care where I was from. They only judged me based on how I was in the show. I did have a lot of backlash from Polish community for being gender fluid, and it's frowned upon in Poland. But I don't think that it was any factor in British public seeing me and voting and any of that. So that makes me feel much, much better, that they didn't judge me for my nationality. They just judged me based on my character and my actions in the show.
Yeah, I totally understand. Before you entered the house, in your profile online, it said that you would put the prize money towards helping you become a UK citizen. Did this put more pressure on you to do well, or was it more of a reason than other people's motives for going in there, or...?
Well, the British citizenship was always my dream because I could speak fluent English since I was 7-8-year-old boy. So it was very important to me because I always felt a strong connection to Britain. But it wasn't the main reason. I just thought if I could win, that's where the prize money would go in part. It would have been nice, don't get me wrong, but now I have a settled status, so it's good enough.
Yeah. So Big Brother is one of the shows that is filmed 24/7. How aware were you of the cameras?
With regards to the awareness for the cameras, when we first walked in, it was very visible that the cameras were moving towards us and following us and everything like that. But then as the time went by, they became kind of like little minions, so we didn't pay attention to them at all. I suppose it's just a matter of getting used to things.
And with the editing, do you think that you were portrayed accurately, or were you happy with what was shown of you?
Well, with editing of the show, I do have a little bit of a feedback on that. I think it's like 90% accurate, but 10% of it was a little bit swirled to make a storyline, So it wasn't all perfect, but for most part, it was very accurate. I mean, we all said those things. We all acted a certain way, and we couldn't fake it, so it was all shown. But put together a few things, and you may sway one way or the other.
Channel 5, they didn't do live feed, whereas Channel 4 used to do live feed. Do you think it's fair that the public made judgments based off of small edited snippets, really?
It's a weird one because you can't blame anything on the edit because the things that you said you did say, the things that you did do. So they certainly can make a judgment of who you are or what you did in the show. At the same time, there's so much more story to it. So nobody can ever know how it really went.
Would you say there were any downsides to appearing on the show?
I don't think that there were any downsides to appearing on the show, actually. For me, especially. I mean, I'm used to bullying and I'm used to trolling from the teenage years of mine. So it wasn't anything new to be trolled online. I haven't experienced anything bad from it. It was only good things. So for me personally, there was no downside.
And you talked a little bit just about trolling and stuff then. Did you actually receive any online trolls and how did you deal with them?
Big Brother is a funny thing, right? Because you don't know what's going on in the outside world until you come out. So when I came out and I read the tweets and comments on Instagram and everything, and I was like, oh, girl, some people really didn't like me, and some people, compared me to a penguin from Batman. And the funniest thing that I saw was Tomasz is like Adele gone wrong, and stuff like that. But being used to bullying, it really didn't affect me because they didn't really know me. So it wasn't hard for me. Like, I'm a tough person, so I would never be affected by this kind of thing.
So on the show, you were called a game player by some viewers and some of your fellow contestants as well. Did you see anything wrong with playing the game, or?
The game playing aspect of Big Brother, right, is very close to my heart because I do watch Canadian version and I do watch American version, and I know the British public frowns upon the gameplay, but I think it's been misconstrued here in this country because gameplay here in UK seems like somebody's adapting their character to win. Where in my season, we got all the tools that we needed to use Big Brother game to your advantage without actually playing the people and just playing the game. So I kept all my loyalties. I just used the tools to play the game. And I think that was very misunderstood, which is such a pity because I love the gameplay aspect of Big Brother.
Do you think the game was fair with the amount of twists that they added throughout the show?
I think the amount of twists and tasks and everything, for me personally, it wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted something every hour. I mean, BB UK is like a kindergarten compared to Canada or the USA. It's like a child's playground. Like, this is nothing. I wanted more and more and more. I wanted my housemates to get lost in everything and be super confused, I wanted more.
After the show ended, what was the aftercare you received like?
So the aftercare after the show was basically immediate chat with the psychiatrist, and I kind of knew what to expect. Like, for me personally, when I signed the contract, there was a disclosure thing saying don't expect to be famous, don't expect to earn money from this, whatever. And I was like, okay, I get it. I knew what I needed to be prepared for, so I was fine with it. After that, there was nothing for a few months, and there was another chat, and that's about it. So it still needs some improvement.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. Do you think that the aftercare can be improved on reality shows?
Aftercare definitely can be improved for the reality shows. I mean, when I did just the two of us, it was much better because everybody put more emphasis on it after some suicides, unfortunately, of some celebrities. But there's still much to be done. Like, some people are not as tough as me, so they need a lot more. I just think it's very individual, and they have to be, the people who participate in reality TV shows have to be really vetted, and they have to be understood individually. And that's how we can make it better, I think.
Are you still in touch with the aftercare team, or are you just not with them at all?
I'm not anymore. I'm pretty sure if I messaged anybody from the aftercare team, I would get a response back and I could have a chat or whatever. I personally don't need it, but I'm pretty sure they would be there if I needed it. So that's a good thing.
If you could give one piece of advice to someone who's thinking of going on reality TV, what would it be?
Well, if I could advise anyone who wants to go on reality TV, I would just say some people think that their flaws make it impossible for the dreams to come true, even if it's like a silly thing like reality TV. Embrace your flaws. Like, when I auditioned for Big Brother, I said, listen, I snore so bad, nobody will be able to sleep, and I own it. Embrace your flaws. And maybe that's the factor that pushed them towards taking me in the show. I don't know, but just embrace your flaws. Maybe they will be your strength.
And that was like a little storyline on the show as well, wasn't it? Your snoring.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I didn't know I had the actual medical condition. I had a problem and I didn't know that. I've been diagnosed with sleep apnea in Big Brother house. They funded my breathing machine. I started to live again. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy as well. Like, you just think you're going on the show and then all of a sudden, like, you're getting given all these medical things that are actually helping your real life.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Because I went to a doctor and I showed them a video of me snoring and just like bouncing around, not being able to sleep or whatever. And they thought it was neurological. But then as soon as I got into Big Brother, they were able to diagnose me with the proper condition, which is sleep apnea. And then they funded my trips to the private clinic, bought me the breathing machine. It just changed my life. Even though I didn't win, it still changed my life. It's amazing.
Well, my next question was going to be, would you say reality TV changed your life positively or negatively?
Well, reality TV changed my life positively for sure, because not only have I been able to live a better life because of just being treated like a person and being diagnosed with my medical problems and help, but also just people coming together and messaging me, and actually not even about gender fluidity, but also about being plus size and owning it. I was super heavy when I was in Big Brother, and people were like, well, that's great, you own it and you don't care. And I relate to that. That was more common than gender identity.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any regrets about your experiences, and would you do it again, and what would you do differently?
So with my Big Brother experience, I really don't have any regret. Like, I know in my heart of hearts that I could have done it differently to maybe get farther, but I did it to match my personality, and I could not possibly do it any other way because I did it to be true to myself, loyal but still playing the game, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I would maybe make a few different decisions but still sticking to my core. And I'm hoping it will come back because it's such a great show.
Yeah, definitely. I really want it to come back as well. Would you go back in it for an all-star series?
If there was a chance, I would go back in heartbeat. For like 75 days, I would. Like, no joke. Even if I have to fail every single task every time and I can stay there, I would. Because it seems like intense environment, and it is, but it's also very safe space. People look after you, they look after your health, they look after your mental health, they make sure you're okay, and you just feel safe. And that's important in reality TV, especially, and in an environment like Big Brother, especially UK version. They're just amazing.
What was it like being judged by the public? Was that a lot of pressure? Because you're being judged on your character, aren't you, in there?
I mean, being judged by your family, well, I didn't know at the time, but obviously when I was evicted, I had a little bit of a look-see-loo online and stuff like that. But as I said before, the gameplay didn't go down well with the British public, unfortunately. I just thought it was so important to pay homage to the international version, to using every resource you have. And for me, I understand that Canada, America, they have to backstab their friends and betray them and everything. I kind of wanted to do it my way, keeping loyalty, but also just screwing over people who I didn't want to be aligned with. For example, Daddy, I mean, I didn't care for him at all, so he was the lamb to slaughter.
I love that. Obviously, it's the voting public that decides the winner. Did you think before going in that you could win?
To be honest with you, I never thought I could win. My biggest thing about Big Brother was staying as long as I could to experience as much as I could. That's why I purchased immunity when there was a task for immunity and the auction and everything. I just wanted to stay as long as possible because I knew there will be people much more worthy of winning than me. Like, for example, Cameron, my bestie, and he came out on TV and he was an example to a lot of young people, and I admire him for it. And, it just came true. What I thought, it came true. And I knew I just had to squeeze everything out of it that I could and stay as long as I could because I couldn't possibly win with amazing people like that.
What are you up to now and how can people follow you and what's next for you?
So I'm on Twitter at Tomasz Wania and Instagram at Tomasz Wania Official. And I'm just looking for something, There is a specific way of applying for things. Like if you're like an adventurer, you might want to go on Bear Grylls or something like that. Or if you're like out of this world hot, you might want to go on Love Island. I'm just looking for something to suit my character so I can be myself and be comfortable. I suppose I'm just trying to find something that suits me and we'll see what's next,
Behind the reality.